After losing 21 kilos, these are the fat loss cheat codes that genuinely made the biggest difference. Starting with cheat code number 1. Keep trigger foods out of sight. One of the biggest reasons people overeat isn't hunger, it's exposure. When snacks and junk food are constantly visible, your brain keeps getting reminded to eat even when you don't actually need food. That's why so many people can stay on track during the day but struggle at night. After a long day, constantly seeing tempting foods makes it harder to say no over and over again. A simple fix is making those foods less visible and less convenient. Don't leave snacks on the table, don't keep sweets in the fridge, and if there are foods that make you lose control around, avoid buying them in large quantities. Fat loss gets a whole lot easier when your environment stops pushing you towards unnecessary eating. Cheat code number 2. Walk after meals, not randomly. Most people think walking is mainly about burning calories, but timing actually matters a lot more than people realize. A short walk after eating helps with digestion, helps regulate blood sugar more efficiently, and reduces that sluggish feeling after meals. It can also help reduce cravings that usually show up late. And it doesn't need to be complicated. Even 5 to 10 minutes helps. Walk after dinner, walk while taking a phone call, walk for a few minutes after lunch before sitting back down. The goal isn't doing intense cardio, it's using movement at a time where it gives you the most benefit. Cheat code number 3. Stop trying to make every meal different. A lot of people think variety helps with fat loss, but too much choice can actually make consistency harder because every meal becomes another decision. And after a busy day, decision fatigue kicks in fast. That's usually when people start snacking, ordering takeout, or grabbing whatever is easiest. Having a few repeat meals solves a lot of that. Meals that are simple, filling, and easy to rely on. Maybe it's eggs and oats for breakfast, maybe it's a chicken rice bowl for lunch. The goal isn't eating perfectly, it's making eating easier to stay consistent with. Cheat code number 4. Eat protein first. Most people build meals starting with carbs or taste. A better approach is starting with protein because protein is the most filling macronutrient. It helps reduce hunger, keeps meals satisfying longer, and makes cravings easier to manage later in the day. So instead of immediately reaching for rice, bread, or snacks first, start with the protein source. Eggs, chicken, yogurt, paneer, fish, whatever fits your diet. Then build the rest of the meals around that. It's a small shift, but it changes how satisfying meals feel without needing strict dieting. Cheat code number 5. Drink water before meals. This sounds simple, but it helps more than most people expect. A lot of people go through the day slightly dehydrated, and thirst can easily feel like hunger. And when meals start with extreme hunger, people usually eat too fast and end up overeating before fullness has time to kick in. Drinking water beforehand helps slow that process down. It creates a small pause before eating and helps meals feel more controlled naturally. Not because water magically burns fat, but because it reduces that I need to eat everything right now feeling. Sometimes the smallest habits make the biggest difference because they help prevent overeating before it starts. Cheat code number 6. Use smaller plates and bowls. This works because the brain pays attention to visual cues more than people realize. When food is spread out on a large plate, portions tend to look smaller than they actually are. That often leads to serving more food without even noticing it. But on a smaller plate, the exact same portion looks fuller and more satisfying. Nothing about the calories changed, only the perception changed. And over time, small changes like this can naturally reduce overeating without making meals feel restrictive. Cheat code number 7. Stop trying to be perfect. This is where a lot of people get stuck. One bad meal happens and suddenly the whole day feels ruined. Then it turns into I'll restart tomorrow or I'll get serious again on Monday. But fat loss doesn't come from perfect days. It comes from staying consistent long enough for the small habits to add up. One off-track meal doesn't ruin progress. What usually causes problems is turning one bad choice into an entire bad week. The people who succeed long-term usually aren't the most disciplined. They are the ones who get back on track quickly instead of constantly starting over. And the final cheat code. Sleep like it matters, because it genuinely does. When sleep is poor, hunger increases, cravings get stronger, and self-control gets worse. That's why unhealthy foods suddenly feel impossible to resist when you are exhausted. It's not just about motivation or discipline. Your body is literally pushing you towards quick energy when you're tired. Better sleep improves appetite control, energy levels, recovery, and even food choices throughout the day, which means fat loss feels easier without needing more restriction. And honestly, that's what most people miss about sustainable fat loss. It usually isn't about extreme diets or perfect routines. It's about making small changes that make consistency easier in real life. You don't need to do all 8 at once. Even 1 or 2 done consistently can make a massive difference over time. For more simple fat loss strategies, consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next video.